Hi, my name is Beth, and I'm a programming assistant for the St. Johns County Public Library System. I'm so happy to be presenting this program today in collaboration with the Crisp-Ellert Art Museum at Flagler College. We are about to conduct a program for National Poetry Month. And while this isn't going to be seen on the library's pages until May, we celebrate poetry at the St. Johns County Public Library System all year long. We also have all kinds of other resources besides poetry. For instance, after watching this program, if you feel inspired to look at some books about the Metropolitan Museum of Art, we certainly have those here in our collection. So just come into the library and ask for help. Thank you so much and enjoy the program.
Thank you for joining us tonight. You may have noticed that you all have been promoted to panelists of this webinar, which I will explain shortly. So for now, just know you may be showing your video, which we would love, but more on that in a minute. Thank you for joining Cyriaco, Terri, and I for tonight's performance. I'm going to briefly introduce both Cyriaco, Terri, individually and collectively, but first a few things. I wanted to thank Beth Maycumber, reference assistant at the St. Johns County Public Library main branch, and her colleagues for the opportunity to partner with us for this event, because it is National Poetry Month, which is very exciting. And then for those of you, just so you know, this program will be recorded and they will post it to their Facebook page and we will post it to our digital platforms. So full disclosure. And part of this performance involves cues that the artists will share, will request responses either through video chat, the chat function, or through sound. And so as this comes up, we may request that some of you unmute yourselves. And now that you've all been promoted to panelists, we can see video. That was the workaround with the webinar. So we understand that, some of you might hesitate to participate, but hopefully, you understand that this is a non-judgmental and inclusive space. So don't be shy. So first, New York-based Brazilian artist Cyriaco Lopes has exhibited at the Museum of Modern Art in Rio de Janeiro, the Museum of Art in Sao Paulo, El Museo del Barrio in New York City, and the Centre Wallonie Brussels in Paris, and the Casa degli Artisti in Milan. He is the winner of the New York City World Studio Foundation Award, the Contemporary Art Museum St. Louis Project Award, and the Sao Paulo Phillips Prize. Lopes has participated in artist residencies at the London Project, Skowhegan, Mass MoCA, and the MacDowell Colony, where in 2019 he was the Marion O. Naumburg Fellow. Let's see. He is an associate professor of art at John Jay College at the City University of New York. Terri Witek's poetry collections include The Rape Kit, which in 2018 was the winner of the Slope Editions Prize, Body Switch from 2016, Exit Island 2012, The Shipwreck Dress 2018, Carnal World in 2008, Carnal World in 2006, and Courting Couples from 2000 was a Center for Book Arts Prize, among others. She is also the author of Robert Lowell and Life Studies, Revising the Self. She has published poems in many journals, including the American Poetry Review, Poetry, The New Republic, and Slate, and created site-specific and ephemeral work for social media and performance. Witek is the Art and Melissa Sullivan Chair in Creative Writing at Stetson University, where in 2000 she received the McHenry Award for Teaching, and in 2008, the John Haig Teaching Award for Outstanding Teaching in the Liberal Arts and Sciences. The two have collaborated since 2005, working together under the name of Cyriaco Lopes and Terri Witek. Their various projects range from postcards given to strangers on the street to site-specific installations, artist books, and participatory performances. Their work is represented by The Liminal, a gallery in Valencia, Spain, where they will mount an exhibition this coming fall. They have exhibited their work in solo and group exhibitions at venues such as the Oi Futuro Center for Art and Technology in Rio de Janeiro in 2017, here at the Crisp-Ellert Art Museum in 2014, and Blue Gallery, Chania, Greece also in 2014. They have performed at the Atlantic Center for the Arts in 2020, the Centro Nacional de Cultura in Lisbon, Portugal in 2019, and the Philadelphia Academy of Fine Arts in Pennsylvania in 2016, among other venues. Since 2016, they have team taught poetry in the expanded field in Stetson University's low residency MFA of the Americas, and since 2013, run the Fernando Pessoa game at Disquiet International in Lisbon, Portugal. We are so happy to work with you both once again. Always such a pleasure. So please join me in welcoming them both to this virtual space. And thank you all for attending and participating. Thanks in advance.
After the last battle, I was thinking, about now's particular being and how it shapes the ways we touch and don't touch. I never see anyone's legs anymore, claims Xantippe. And my connection really sucks, gripes Agrippina. Yet here we are in our co-equal frames, these ephemeral archives, which may also be carriages processing through the streets under another sun's midnights. It's a new hour, says Heraclitus, with lightning bolts building. With all of us here and not quite going back, should we still call this distance? While we wait here for the next storms, sizzle and zap, for ghosts tumbling out of the clouds, what are we gathering? Maybe for keeps. For this next part, would you please stay in gallery view as you are now and keep your mics off, but keep your vids on? Would you mind? I say this also asking you to activate the chat function, because a card like this means go to the chat, while everything else is going to require an action. You ready? You ready? The chat. Finish this, please. If only we could go tomorrow. If only I could go to sleep. If only I had a hook for a hand. If only it were the weekend. If only I could be outside. If only I could have another. If I was on an airplane. If only my cat would stop clawing me right now. If only yesterday wasn't my mother's 15th death anniversary. If only I could get more sleep today. If only there wasn't a pandemic. If only I could. If only could actually be together. If only I knew. If only ondas. Ondas. Only in Florida. If only I could get organized. If only 360 degrees. If only it left. If only it was Christmas. If only I knew how to socialize anymore. This is for the chat. I asked you when. I asked you how long. I asked you to always stay to let me know Why? I asked you a question yesterday. I asked you why not. I asked if it was too much. I asked you only now. I asked you right away. I asked you to see me, the truth. I asked why you did that. I asked, why don't you remember? I asked you silently to show me ages ago. So many times I asked you loudly. I asked you, how can you eat that? I asked you for the second time. I asked you the diagnosis. I asked you for the last time as a friend, but I deleted it. I asked to do this every day. I asked, how could it be? Again and again and again, I asked for a divorce. To not be afraid. Tell me louder. ND again and again and again. I asked to wear your loudest clothes. I asked you to stop yelling at me. I asked you for help. I asked you colors. I asked you to feel the fear. I asked you for something. What was it? I asked you if you saw that bird. I asked you to be careful. I asked you for a rat trap, the sound of a song, to move a little, just down a little if you wanted more coffee. I asked you for safe. I asked you to listen. I asked you to please stop looking in my things. I asked you for light. I asked you to clean your room. I asked you to ask if I looked okay. The chat. And the sky said, and the sky said it was on fire. And the sky said rainbow. It said clouds. The sky said, help me. Please protect me. I love the clouds. I will never be gray again. Warm sunshine. The sky said gray. The sky said, you are so done. The sky said, that's a nice story. The sky said, if you knew what was up, lilac, look at my beauty. Tomorrow, fly with me. Yesterday, here I am. The sky said, every day, but never again. The sky said, hello. The sky said, get out of me. The sky said, go away, clouds. The sky said, I am everywhere. I am nowhere. The sky said, farewell. The sky said, birds. The guy said, psst, high, too high. The sky said, have a good day, sleep, pink stories, surrender Dorothy. The sky said, I'm falling. The sky said, I don't care. The sky said, I make funnels sometimes. The sky said, follow me. The sky said, what are you doing down there? Sky said, blustery. The sky said, dream more.
I go to the Met once a week from 4 to 8:30 p.m. I have done that for over a decade. Nowadays I can't and I miss it. So I will post here my lost loves as if they came to see me instead. What is your murmur? Of marble ocean, of marble fish, of someone who once looked carefully at something, and of whom nothing else remains but that looking. She hovers, erotic nightmare. He wants and fears the thing she offers him, and he will have it. And then it will be too late, and he will be a man and closer to dying. And there will be no regrets, and it will have been worth it. Life, engraved amber, the whole thing, fits in your hand and is read by light. He wears her, and she is visited. His body becomes hers, her mind the deity's. The trio is each other. The prince a monkey, the palace mustard, the sky is lit. The white is all the things to come. The white is a hole in the world. The crown is stolen. The artist rests his brush for a moment, for 300 years. Before that, chartreuse, argyle, crimson, lilac. The faintest breeze on his hair. It is after said, that kind of hurt is for once, the job done. He's lonely on those private collection rooms where people don't look at paintings. Resigned, invisible. The devil's bargain. You will live longer than your body, but frozen the time after life was life. And more. Such a big nose. A body abstracting to stream, no muscles and bones, but smooth skin, cascading members, pure in gold. In a multiplying machine, it's another sculpture at every degree, if not for the glass nowadays. You look at it slightly from above, his head and eyes down. Yours. The wind's picking up. Soon these sticks will be carried away. The ribbons, all the hats will fly, people too, the chairs dragged through sand. Full skirts in the sky, clouds will justify promises, Balbec will close for the season. Seasons will be abolished. Il Gato Pardo will grow to rags, but not quite yet. For now, the hen in her arm of silver. I love Watteau if not theirs, except those days when the play slips into truth, forced into the pathetic, days of gentle pearly blues that barely obscure the night coming. Then it's better to focus on the brushwork of the dresses. Superb. Gold peppered pale amber into top, while copper tan intercedes borders. Viridian green happens, and sky blue. Written trees have framed belly button. Desire a beast brings the peace of an urgent present. It overtakes everything mudslide. English wants for Sofriguidon, a cupped hand and a bit. I sequestered love you. I caged love you. I forced love you. Being yours was my plan. Of you abound God, my plan. To give it all, to have it all, I plan. I hidden love will lose, and yet I must wear the wrapped golden. A view warms your body. Is the plantation house a heavy in your chest? If so, here is your armed twin, the pale blue river. Your right arm, leave it buried under the fields where the artist worked. We should see it horizontal like the dead, but it hangs left to dry. This is her atlas. You sleep in its pages, make love. Oh, got to lay down and die one day. She sings, I hear, somewhere in the Library of Congress. From the spine down, the world gone, then the other one. A ledger of correspondences and no subtractions. A plus down, a plus up. The physical space of the book, it's lined, right the invisible. As in David Leitch's movies, electricity, silencio. The milk apparition trembles, submerges. In the exhibit, a reproduction instead, so slight that it cannot be seen, only known. Latent trauma. I forget that this painting is possible. One can paint people having it or the vision. Skin sky robes made of scream. Why clothe them after sin? They neither wait on the ground or float, they are encrusted. They have black auras like carvings, skin sky robes ablaze their matter vision. Free as late last works can be. This was painted tomorrow. They unboxed the space of La Demoiselle. See, this is how one should love. Fully, ecstatically. See, and since they reopen, so I have been back. I have been going to the museum and seeing the artworks, not every week, but often. But of course, while I couldn't see them, I was forgetting them when I tried to remember them, because the best way to forget an image is to make it into words. The moment you begin to describe it, you begin to forget that image. And I thought we could do this together, to forget together. You just saw a number of images from the Metropolitan Museum. And I would invite you to write sentences, just like you did with Terry just before, of things that you remember, like sentences with very visual, specific things of what you remember from the images that we saw. Like for example, she wore a turban. There were leafless trees in the background. Something like this, if you're so kind and if you're interested. And I will be frantically copying it into somewhere else, if you let, so that we can see all of them together afterwards. Carrying the plantation house inside, chains, two lovers embracing each other. They have golden wings, horse, he was gold. Actually, let me improvise a little bit. Terry, since you are the most wonderful reader of all, would you be so kind and read for us those sentences beginning with two lovers embracing? And I will play a selection of the fragments of the text that I read. Is it, so you'll be our soundtrack? Is it possible?
It is possible. Two lovers embracing each other. They have golden wings. Horse. He was gold and hanging.
Oh. And then you can't read.
St. John at night. Where was ecstatic love? Lovers. Unfinished empty spaces.
Dois, três, quatro,
Water at the beach.
cinco, seis, sete,
Archers, amber.
nove,
We
dez,
should love ecstatically.
11,
We should.
12,
Ecstatic.
13, 14,
Flowing on the beach.
15,
Quilt.
16,
Earrings.
17,
Gold
18,
He wore
19,
feathers so long that they lay at his feet. His blue horse flew by as electric bolts fell through the air.
23,
Sculptured
24,
gold wings, a monkey, a crown, a
26,
slit, and colors.
27, 28,
Windy beach,
29,
golden dangling
30,
earring.
31,
Top is a
32,
branch or plant design.
33,
A
34,
woman being kissed by an eagle with a human head.
36, 37,
Feather. Face
38,
upon torso, face above torso,
39,
face under face.
40,
Casa walls.
41,
Shapes.
42,
The dog on the beach. He probably died of old age, even if the others were blown into the sky.
46,
Umbrella,
47,
disappearing, fading,
48,
arms,
49,
collars, elegant ball gown,
50,
lovers. She didn't have a shoe after the sad. And for this last little part, would you please turn your video off and get out of the chat, but keep your mics on for the orchestra. Are you ready?
Yes. part of the art thing.
Fome agora, não se tirou peixe, não foi? O que você pensou?
Hello.
Something. Something.
Person of all. Air conditioning is the sweetest person of all. Sandy.
Trisha.
Diane.
Terry.
Sandy.
Melissa.
Trisha.
Ellen.
Trisha.
Sandy.
Terry.
Sandy.
Patricia.
Sandy.
Patricia.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 10,
50, 48,
15,
6,
14,
7, 6,
99,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
3, 1.
Madeline.
This is a morning of the air. Every bridge of
Michelle, my belle, mon bien ensemble.
Echo, 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 echo.
Echo, echo, echo,
echo, echo,
Echo.
The end. You can come back.
Thank you so much for collaborating with us in our improvisations. It was
Thank you.
really special to share this with you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the program, and I hope you will continue to watch the St. Johns County Public Library System's Facebook page and YouTube channel for great programming for adults, teens, and children. Thank you so much, and we hope we see you in the library very soon. Bye-bye.